Hello, my name is Victor Randall with the University of Central Florida's Center for Research in Education, Arts, Technology, and Entertainment, also known as CREATE. I'm here today to show you how to put together your wonderful digital stories. Before we get into how we put these things together, I would like to share with you a website that I like to use to get royalty-free music for use in my digital stories, also with my student stories. It's called incomptech.com. Put the link right here. So you can copy that and put that into your browser. All right. Now when you come to the website using that address right there, you'll end up at this website right here, and you'll notice that it's got things arranged. You can search for music by genre. You can also search for music by feel. This allows for your students to truly try and understand the feeling that's behind their stories and what they're trying to say, and how can the music help tell that story. Now, I happen to be doing my story on Woody Allen, and I know that he uses lots of elements of jazz and classical music in his movies, so I feel that that would reflect well in my story piece here. So I'm going to do a search for jazz, and I'll scroll down, and you'll see there's a whole bunch of different types of songs that I have to choose from. And on each one, it gives me the name, of course, the length of the track, so I know that this will last through my entire movie if need be. And I can also have a description of what the song might sound like. So I'm going to listen to one of these here, this airport lounge. Just press play. And I can hear exactly what this piece sounds like. So I say, okay, well, I think this is a good piece that I'd like, so I'll just download it. I'll hit the download button there. Now, one of the reasons I chose this piece here is that in its description, it automatically mentions that it will not steal the focus. It's something light and simple, and of course that's important since I'm going to be talking over the soundtrack that's in the background. It's really just to help convey the mood and clear up some of those more dull moments. So I've downloaded my song already, actually, and it pops up in iTunes. I'm just going to pull it out here. Close iTunes there, and add it into my folder. Now, the program that I recommend using for putting together your digital story is iMovie HD, which is right here. Now, iMovie HD is specifically a Mac OS product, so if you're not running Mac OS, then you will not be able to use this. Your other alternatives are I think Windows Movie Maker, which comes with every version of Windows. You should be able to do the same thing, but it is a little bit more difficult. But the principles that we'll be walking through are going to be the same universally. So I'm going to create a new project. I'm going to name mine Me and Woody Allen. Now, this is actually an older version of iMovie, and I personally think it's one of the easier ones to use. I've used it with elementary students all the way up to senior citizens. Now, let me give you a close-up of which version this actually is. This is iMovie HD version 6.0.3. So if you have a newer Mac, it will not come with this particular software. You'll have to go online and download it. I do believe it's free, so you should just go and pick up that version. So this is the standard iMovie work environment. Here on the right-hand side are panels where we can put our clips, which would be any video or images that we have that we want to add to our movie. And down here in the bottom is where we add our clips to help build our movie. Now you'll notice on the left bottom hand side here, we've got these two little symbols, one that looks like a film strip, which is one of the modes that we start off with, so we can add files or our images in sequence simply, and then next is the timeline mode, where we'll be doing all of our real editing. So I'm going to start with the clips mode. Now on Mac OS 10, I'm just going to take this folder here. This folder has my images that I'm going to use for my video. Instead of putting each one in one by one, I like to just drag that whole folder over, and iMovie will automatically import all of those elements. So my images and my audio are going to end up inside of iMovie. There we go. So now you'll notice down here at the bottom, I've got this nice purple track with these waveforms on it. That is the audio track that I had put inside of that folder, that MP3. And then in the right-hand panel, you'll notice my images that I had chosen are loaded right there. So I'm going to go back into the clips mode so I can drag in my images in sequence. So I had started with, click outside so I make sure I'm only selecting one. I'll select my picture of Woody Allen that I know I want to have in my opening. Then my next one was that summer day I had mentioned. And then something that had represented the feeling of boredom. So now I've got all of my clips in sequence. Now iMovie automatically delegates a time of 5 seconds per clip. So when I go in the timeline mode, I'll see there's everything I needed. And I'd actually forgot to put in my WAV file that I recorded earlier, which actually has me speaking. So right now, if I were to play this file, you'll just hear that free MP3 that I had downloaded as my background music. We'll see. Alright, so we've got that nice little effect. So I'm going to now grab and add in my voiceover that I had done, my Woody Allen.wav file here. So it's as simple as just clicking and dragging this down into that second track here, and it'll import it. There we go. I'll close that up. Now, when you're in timeline mode, you'll notice that there's these 3 lines here. The first line is where we're going to put any of our images, whether they be still images or videos. And then the next 2 tracks are dedicated to audio. So since we have these 2 channels of audio here, what I suggest you do is, in the first channel, put your voiceover that you've recorded for your story, and then on the second channel, you add your background music. Now, all the way on the right-hand side here, you'll notice these radio boxes. They're all checked. What this does is turn on or off that channel of audio. So if I deselect this radio box on the second one, and I go back and hit play. Back when I was a 7th grade kid with nothing better to do. There, you'll only hear the other 2 tracks. Now, there's no audio on this first one, so I don't need to worry about deselecting it. But there is audio on the second one. So if I turn the radio box back on and I try and play, you'll hear both the background music track and our voiceover track. So I'm going to turn off the background music for now. And then I'm going to go back and try to start editing the length of my pictures to match the length of what I'm saying in my voiceover. So before I can start doing that, I have to make sure that all of my images are safe to edit. So in order to make sure that your pictures are fit for editing, what you're going to do is you're going to select the picture. So it'll turn blue. That's how you know it's selected. You're going to click on Media and make sure that Photos is selected. And you're going to click on Show Photo Settings. Now, iMovie likes to put the Ken Burns effect on absolutely everything. So when you import your pictures, and you get to this, make sure you turn off the Ken Burns effects. If you'd like to use it later on after you've got everything in sequence, that's all right. But starting off, I suggest that you turn off the Ken Burns effects. So you're going to turn it off, click Update, and I'm going to do the same thing for all my other pictures. Make sure that's deselected, Update, and Update. Now the reason you do this is so that you're able to change the length of your pictures, because if you do not do that, you'll only be able to make your images of a shorter length instead of both being able to expand the length of time and shorten the length of time. So now that I've done that, I can select a clip and can move to one of the edges, and you'll notice how it turns into like the door with arrows coming out on both sides. That means that I can click and hold and drag it to the right here to make the picture longer if need be, or I can move to the left and make it shorter. And then just so you can see, I can do that with all of my pictures now to make editing a breeze. Now I am going to apologize, you might not be able to hear the voiceover track that I'm using due to this microphone, but I'll try and make it work the best that I can. So right now I'm going to go back and listen to my voiceover track so I can know where I need to change the length of my pictures. So I'm going to listen back here. Alright, so I can see, or I can hear rather, that my first idea talking about Woody Allen ends at about this 3 seconds and 27 millisecond mark. So I'm just going to click and hold that and pull it out a little bit more until it gets to about that point, and I'm going to go back and listen to what that clip sounds like. I remember the first time I ever saw Woody Allen. Alright, it looks like that lines up pretty good. So I'll deselect it here. I'll click on the outside so I can deselect and play it back and see how it flows into the next image. Alright, so it flows into that second portion where I'm talking about the summertime happening. So now I just see that I need to fix up the end here so that it flows into talking about me being a 7th grade kid with nothing to do. So I'll shorten this up a little bit and we'll see what it sounds like. I might have gotten lucky there, and it might just line up where I need it. Let's see. It's actually pretty decent. I'll just give it a little bit more space to work with by shortening it up there. And then I'll pull my end one so that it ends at the end of my audio clip here. So now everything is synced up nicely. So I'll go back and I'll play it. I remember the first time I ever saw Woody Allen. Summer 1990, back when I was 7. Alright, so now that I'm satisfied with that, I can add opening credits and I can add ending credits. Now, iMovie makes adding credits as well as doing certain visual effects incredibly simple. I'm going to actually start off with doing opening credits. I'm going to go to Editing, and here you see it's going to be under Titles, and it gives you lots of different title options to choose from. Anything with an arrow means that it just has a sub-menu of other options that are under the same heading. So if I were to do Clip to Characters, I'll click on that one and do an animated gradient. It gives you an example of what that title effect would look like. And each one of these titles has different features that you can edit to your own taste. So let's say I was going to go with these bounce across titles. You notice in this bottom pane right over here, and it says My Great Movie by Administrator starring me. Now whatever text that I type into these fields, as soon as I hit enter, it'll automatically update it so I can see exactly what it's going to look like. So I'll type in my name. I'll hit hit return there. I'll actually change my name in the administrator too. So now you see that it now reads My Great Movie by Victor instead of by administrator. And it's also simple. I can change the color by simply clicking on color. And choosing a color that I like. Once again, you can see it changing in real time. Now, it doesn't actually have to be over black, and as you can see, it's not selected. But the reason that it's automatically showing up as over black is because on my timeline here, I'm outside of where there are any images, so there's nothing to show. But if I move my slider back over a picture and select one, as you can see, the title goes by over the picture. If I want to make it its own entity, I just simply click over black. And that's what I'm going to do. Make sure that my time scrubber is at the beginning, so I can add this to the beginning of my movie. And let's say I like the default options that are on here with the wave and the speed. So I'm just going to add that. And you'll notice it pushes everything over to the right. So what that means now is that my images and my voiceover that I just did a sync to, that means they are no longer in sync. But since we had already matched up everything with the audio clip, it's as simple as just moving the audio clip to the end of that opening credits that I did, and now it's already back in sync. Very simple. So when I hit play, I'll have my nice little opening credits there. Now, if I wanted to, and I needed multiple lines for some reason, it's as simple as hitting this plus button right here, and I'll get a second line of text to add. And once again, you'll see that it updates in live time. So there's that nonsense text that I just added. So if I want to get rid of that, I just simply select the field I want to get rid of. I'll hit the minus button. And voila, it's gone. After I update it by hitting enter. There we go. Of course, there are some other different types of titles that are more conducive towards ending, which are usually found further down. I think they actually have some specific ones. Scrolling credits. Those are the types that I like to use for the ending credits with my students. It works just like the other ones. You just fill in the text fields and add as many as you need. In this particular one, the top bar corresponds with the text on the left-hand side, and the bottom bar corresponds with the text on the right-hand side. So once again, I'll just make sure that I place the cursor where I need it to be. So I'm going to add this to the end of my movie. I'm not going to bother to change any of the text. I'm just going to click add. Ooh. It looks like I accidentally placed it in between two of them, so I'll simply just do an undo command by holding Apple, and I'll hit Z. I'll undo that, and make sure I'm all the way at the end here. And I'll speed this up a bit. Alright, so now I'll add it again. There we go, wonderful ending credits. I'll hit play, just look at it. And then there are my ending credits. Now let's say you wanted to add some transitions between your pictures. Also very simple. What you'll do is first just move your cursor to between two images that you want to do a transition between. So I'm going to go between Woody Allen here and Summer. I'm going to click Transitions. And once again, you just simply click on the transition that you'd like to use, and you'll see how it'll work if you were to add it to your movie. I'm a big fan of using the cross dissolve or overlap. They're very tasteful. You can use them in just about any situation. But there are a lot more other impressive effects as well. So really you choose one that you think helps tell your story the most, and that's tasteful. So I'll just throw in an overlap here. I'll change the speed, make it a little quick there, because all my clips are kind of short. If you make your clips too long, it will go over multiple images. I'll give you an example. As you can see, the effect was still going on as we transferred into our third image, because our image was about 5 seconds and 24 milliseconds, and that's longer than both of those other two pictures combined. So I'll keep it short. I like the way that looks, so I'm going to click and hold it, and then I'm just going to drag it between these two images here. So now I can go back and play test it. And it looks good. Now, you will have to be careful sometimes when going back and adding your effects. Sometimes it will slightly change the timing of your movie. So just go back and make sure that everything still lines up after you do those transitions. Now you also have a variety of video effects and audio effects that you can use. Once again, they work just the same as the other two. If I were to do a video effect, I just choose something that I'd like. You can change the different parameters, and you just click apply, and it'll show up exactly how it looks in the demo. But I won't bother to add anything to mine at the moment. So let's say we have this lovely movie. Everything's put together the way we want it. All of our pictures are synced up with our voiceover. So now we're just going to make sure that the audio levels of our voiceover and our background music are complementary. That way I can make sure that I hear my voiceover track, but can still also hear a little bit of the music in the background. So I'm going to turn on that last clip at the bottom. So now I can once again hear my voiceover track and my background music track. So I'm going to hit play. Hopefully you can hear this. So as it got into the part where I was speaking, I can notice that the background music track is much louder than my voiceover track. So in order to fix that, I'm going to click on the clip. First I'm going to click on my voiceover track, and where it says clip 100%, that's our audio level right there. So I'm just going to boost that one all the way up to 150 because it's kind of low. And I'm going to click on the second track, which is my background music. I'm going to change that clip percentage. I'm going to bring that way down to about 15%, and we're going to see how that sounds. I remember the first time I ever saw Woody Allen. Summer of 1998, back when I was 7th grade. All right, it sounds pretty decent. I can probably bring down my music track a little bit more. Hopefully you were able to hear that. I'll bring it down to about 11%. Let's see. Perfect. Sounds a lot better than it did before. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to select my track. I'm going to edit this bottom track because you see it goes all the way down here, and my movie ends shortly at 22 seconds, so I don't need all of this extra stuff here. So what I'm going to do is split the selected audio clip at playhead. You can also do this with images if you want to make splits, and it makes things easy to delete and manage. So I'm going to select it. I'm going to use the shortcut holding Apple and then hit T. And if I move this slider here, you'll now notice that there's a little break in between that audio clip here. So now if I click on the right hand side, I can remove the other half and move it wherever I need to. But I don't need it at all, so I'm going to click it. I'm going to hit delete. So now I'm going to add a little fade out so it sounds nice at the end. I'm going to right click on my bottom audio track. I'm going to click Show Clip Volume Levels. That gives me these lovely lines on my audio tracks. I'm just going to click one at the end here. You'll notice you'll get a big ball on the right hand side, and on the left hand side a smaller ball. Those are two anchor points. I'm just going to bring the right anchor point all the way down to the end at the bottom. So that'll provide a nice smooth fade out for the audio track at the end for me. So I'll right click again, turn off Show Clip Volume Levels. I'll play it back. Alright, sounds good. So now that I've done everything I've wanted to do with my movie, now it's time for me to export. I'll go up to File. I'm going to Export. And generally, to make sure I get the best quality, I'm just going to click on Full Quality. And we're going to click Share. It's going to ask me, well, where should I save this? I'm just going to save mine right into that folder I had created for myself that's on the desktop. There we go. Save. Now, another one of the wonderful things about using iMovie is that you have the option of exporting in a number of different formats, whether it be you're exporting directly for the internet or you just want to burn something directly to a DVD. So the second is finishing up right here since we didn't have a long movie. There we go. And it comes out as you should see it. There we go. I remember the first time I ever saw Woody Allen. Summer of 1998, back when I was a 7th grade kid. Very simple and easy. Of course, it didn't take me long because I only had 3 images. There we go. I'll make sure I'll save my project file so I can always come back to it later after we do pre-review in case I need to do any edits. So I'm going to go File, Save Project. There we go. Close it. And now I'm good to go. Well, I hope that's been helpful for you, and I wish you much luck in your future endeavors in creating digital stories.